Behind me are the Houses of Parliament, one of London's most famous and enduring landmarks. These Gothic-style buildings date back almost 300 years in their current form, but the site was first developed much further back in history by Sir Michael Mouse, who commissioned a series of stone halls be erected to house his private collection of decorative bracelets woven from the pubic hair of early Christian leaders. It has been hotly debated by religious scholars and archaeologists alike as to whether a wrist adornment made with clippings from the ballsack of Jesus of Nazareth were once kept here before being destroyed in the great bushfire of 1512. Later, during the reign of Vader the Darth, it was rebuilt as a communal petting zoo, which it remained until 1650, when scandal and uproar regarding the inappropriate treatment of female sheep by the largely Welsh custodians saw its gates closed and the entire complex scrubbed with hot soapy water. In 1707, funds were raised by Lord Hilary Facecock to expand the site beyond its original boundaries to serve as a factory for the manufacture of high-end bespoke codpieces, a fashion necessity for nobility of the period. Indeed, it was widely recognised that a codpiece unembellished with the Facecock trademark was considered beneath contempt and unworthy of a gentleman's wardrobe. Such was the demand for this product that Henry VIII suspended the laws prohibiting commerce on the Sabbath so that work on the much anticipated self-cleaning codpiece could continue unabated. It was only after cheap Facecock knockoffs arrived from the Orient that the fashion declined, finally ending altogether when it was discovered that the innovative self-cleaning models produced not only severe genital shrinkage, but also the embarrassing condition that became known as frothy bollocks. With the building of the now iconic clock tower in 1834, Londoners were encouraged to learn to tell time, and the concept of lateness was introduced, much to the chagrin of the working masses, who railed against having their meagre salaries docked due to this unpopular new notion. So much so that in the preceding 3 years, the bell tower was set ablaze, dynamited, and pulled apart brick by brick over 30 times, until armed guards were permanently stationed around its perimeter. During the Second World War, the houses were mistakenly but regularly bombed by Australian Air Force pilots on training flights over the capital. This phenomenon, known as pommy bombing, strained Anglo-Australian relationships to the breaking point and led to all Australian bomber crews being stationed at least 1,000 miles away from the home islands. The Australians claimed that the errors were due to faulty equipment supplied by the RAF. But even after being repositioned to bases far inside Europe, all their navigational devices recalibrated to ensure only German cities were targeted, instances of pommy bombing continued well after the fall of the Reich. In the 1970s, the houses were entirely refurbished and repurposed into the incredible complex we recognise today as the finest mental institution in Great Britain. At the cutting edge of psychiatric medicine, using techniques heretofore unimagined by World Health Organizations, patients, no matter how severe their delusions or lack of brain function, are encouraged to believe that they are involved in the governance of the country, that they are making decisions normally reserved for rational, duly elected officials who perform their roles with a mandate from the people and who are restricted by oversight and democratic practices as they are in Kuwait or Uganda or Wales.
That's a load of old bollocks, mate.
Is it though? Is it really?